Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Mind Care Club live conversations with Doc Lou and friends. So now it's March, the last Saturday of March, and we are celebrating Women's Health Month. And today, in honor of women, we will celebrate each other in this conversation. So this afternoon, we will talk about the concept of health and beauty, very common concepts that affect women's self esteem. And we will ask ourselves, what are the factors that impact or influence how we as women value ourselves? Health and beauty are two concepts that are, I think, intertwined, and yet they are two different domains that impact on how much we value ourselves. So today we will highlight the burning questions about health and beauty and an eternal concern for most, if not all, women. So, put simply, if we talk about self esteem, what kind of worth or value do we actually give ourselves as women? As daughters, sisters, wives, mothers, grandmothers, and of course, the external roles we play as entrepreneurs, managers, employees, leaders, and advocates all impact on every woman's self worth. On another level, we are also going to touch on the influence of society, social media, culture, and the huge take on how women value themselves because of how women are represented in these avenues. So is beauty just about aging or hair color or body shape? Or is beauty something that really emanates from within? Or is beauty something that really belongs to the eyes of the beholder? There are many ways by which we can discuss health and beauty, but we will focus on how these two domains or two concepts actually impact on our self esteem and our self concept as women. So, for this afternoon, we have invited through Mind Care Club two very wonderful women, very beautiful wives, mothers, daughters in their own right, who will share their experiences as practicing doctors with a focus on health, wellness, and beauty. Our first guest is Dr. Zaza Limcanco. She is a board certified dermatologist of the Philippine Dermatological Society. Hi, Zaza. So, just to add more to who Dr. Zaza is, she finished her residency training at the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine and then went on for further subspecialty training at the Institute of Biology in Bangkok, Thailand, and at Guy's and St. Thomas Hospital in London of the United Kingdom. She has been practicing for almost 20 years, and she owns the Derm Corner PH, which offers clinical and aesthetic dermatology services. Our next guest is Dr. Carice Diana Drilon Dalman, or Doc Kendi for short. Kendi, are you there? Hi. So, most colleagues and patients know her as Doc Kendi. She is a functional and integrative medicine specialist, graduated from the Ateneo School of Medicine and Public Health, completed her training in 2017 at the Institute for Functional Medicine in the USA. Doc Kendi, together with her husband, Dr. Ryan Dalman, co founded Centro Holistico, which offers holistic health programs to deal with chronic illnesses through proper diet, nutrition, and lifestyle choices. So I invited both of you, ladies Hazaza and Candy. I invited both of you this afternoon because I think you embody what health and beauty and women's self-esteem is all about. No, you're not just doctors; you're very busy practitioners, busy mothers and wives. So maybe you could greet the people who are watching us online because we're going on live stream at the moment. Sa?
Good, good afternoon to all the viewers, and thank you, Doctor and Mindcare Club, for inviting me to this afternoon's discussion. I hope everyone can get some very good takeaways from today's session.
Yeah, thank you. And yes, Candy, what about you?
Hi everyone, good afternoon, and thanks for having me here, Doc Lou, and to everyone's watching. Hope you guys can pick up a thing or two to help improve your mental state as well.
Yeah. So, talaga naman among women, health and beauty are very common concerns, right? And maybe I'll start by asking you, um, what are the, for example, in your own practices, no, what percentage of the patients who consult are women?
In my case, it's about 65 to 70%. There's a lot
Okay.
of all
65 to 70%. Okay, let me just note that down.
Same with
all
Okay.
me.
ages. Yeah.
Same with us. I think even if we're like a general clinic, it's
Yeah.
roughly 65 to 75% women that come in.
That, that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I always thought that the health-seeking behavior would be different between women and men, and that men most of the time do not come on their own. Did you ever notice that? That if you have a male client, they will come with another female, either the daughter, the wife, the mom, but never
True.
by themselves.
They get
True. Super
to the
true.
Yeah. So really, it's very interesting that the women really seem to lead the families, or maybe any partnership in terms of health seeking. So let's talk about the 70% who come to see you. And of that 65 to 70% of your patients, what would be the top three concerns when they consult you? Kasi there will be some commonalities, no? And I'd like to address that. Yeah, what would our guests think about that?
who goes first.
Go, Doc.
Yeah.
There's Candy.
Ako, I think number one, we've been getting a lot of fertility cases recently. I think that
Okay.
roughly now, siguro mga 60% of our cases, 50 to 60% of our cases are all fertility. Either they're trying to get pregnant, or they are, or naturally, parang they're at the beginning stages of it. They just got married, want to make sure that they're okay. Then the other part, yung mga nagpapa-IVF, those who are really having procedures done already. So fertility and postpartum, those are the top right now. And then we
Okay.
also have those that come in for overall health, especially like when we started opening up, people just wanted to know to feel like they're protected, that their bodies are stronger. So weight management, overall health, yan, yun yung dalawa. Because during the pandemic, one of the risk factors talaga for getting the severe case of COVID is really weight, is obesity. So we really started to getting a lot of those cases. And then lastly, anti-aging. It's a big thing now. I think Doc Saza, do, ganun din sa inyo. Anti-aging is such a big thing right now. So anything that will help, quote unquote, reverse time or age gracefully, those are really some of the things. And lastly, ito close third din kasi to, stress management. Right now,
Ah.
those who are having mental issues, like what can we do to help with stress, like we do acupuncture and all of that. So maraming dumarating na din ever since pandemic started.
That's very interesting. Fertility and postpartum recovery,
Yes.
and then weight management, and then
Yes.
anti-aging and stress management.
Stress management.
So really, people are coming in for, if you really look at it, they appear like they're physical issues, but they're
Mhm.
actually psychological issues, right?
True. Very true.
Uh, there are things that worry the patients. That's why they come and consult. So, what about you, Zaza, in dermatology?
Yes. In my case, the top three would be like fat loss or inch loss, whether
Mm.
from aging or pandemic weight gain or after birth. The second would be I lump them all together: the acne marks. People just want now clear, blemish-free skin,
Mhm.
Mm.
and of course, the the third one, which is I think very common here in the Philippines, whitening of pigmentation. Is the last one.
Ayan.
Whether it's
Pag-usapan natin yung whitening na yan. So, it's a very ano no common concern. Pero yun that was one thing that was very striking to me yung if you just go through EDSA no sa sobrang traffic makikita mo talaga yung mga billboards, and the billboards are actually focused a lot on how people look. You know,
Yes.
there are ads for all sorts of creams, all sorts of weight loss programs, the easy weight loss programs actually, not the one that talk about lifestyle change or proper nutrition, you know, but the weight loss programs that are the balot balot ones, you know, like you just go lie down for 60 minutes and then you lose some inches. So body image is an important thing. It really tells you that how people look, whether men or women, but more especially women, are targeted by industries to actually increase or enhance themselves by consuming products. So let's talk about body image and fat loss. Kasi that's so directly attributed to beauty, correct? I mean, in your encounter with the patients, when they ask for weight loss or weight management, what are the things that actually motivate them to lose weight?
My
Mm.
God.
Why would they want to do that?
Ako, ako,
So,
Dok.
yeah.
There's most of the reasons that they tell me. Well, it varies, but the top three will probably be self improvement. So they want to look good
Mm.
for an event that's coming up, or a milestone birthday, or a milestone
Mm.
anniversary, or a reunion. Which brings me to the second reason, which are the insecurities. Because, in reunions, it's inevitable in Filipino culture. You get comments from family members na, "What, taba mo na?" Or ang
Ah.
diba, you gained weight, ganyan, or ang
Mhm.
payat mo. I mean, it could go either way, those insecurities. Of course, there's also loss of confidence from aging or past traumas, like, separation from the husband, or cheating issues in the family. So they want to look good, or parang uh, they want to gain back that lost confidence by,
Mm.
doing something for themselves physically.
Okay. That leads directly to the concept of beauty as being directly related to self-esteem, no?
Yes,
Um,
Very
definitely.
much.
and I guess that's a very touchy and sensitive question. But and it's not just the body, but your overall feeling of how you see yourself. Lalo na
Mm.
yung concept of ano, cheating, 'di ba? If you lost or your marriage broke up and then you think, "Oh, because siguro I gained so much weight." That's
Yes,
so
it's so ano na.
sad,
Yes,
Yes.
'di
true.
ba?
You
And
know,
you Candy, when they come for weight loss, what is it they're after?
Um, like with us, kasi the most patients know that or the when they come in Centro and then they come in for like a program, it's not instant because we work on the lifestyles, and then like the treatments that we do will just like improve the results or make things a bit faster for them. But
Mm.
mostly when we talk to them, because we do a consult muna, like a very in-depth consultation before they go into a program. Most
Mm.
of my patients that come in for weight loss, it's because they want to gain function. Like they want to optimize their function daily. Like we get sometimes athletes and then sabi nila, I gained 20 pounds. Like for us, 20 pounds is not that much. But for them, 20 pounds is another 20 pounds of carrying when they run. Mga ganyan. So more of optimizing function. Like for the women naman, those postpartum that come to me, yan, kasi parang, wait, I feel so fat. Like, I'm not like this
Mm.
when before I gave birth, mga ganyan. So,
Right.
more like when they look at themselves in the mirror, they don't see their 18-year-old body or their 25-year-old body, and they don't feel good about it. So, when we talk to them, talagang, pero they come to us because they want it sustainable, or they don't
Mm.
have the or they've done the instant ones, yun nga yung mga humihiga lang, 90 minutes, shed whatever, mga ganon. So they come to us because they want something more sustainable. They know that the lifestyle has to change, so they just need that direction. So mostly naman they do it for themselves. Ilan lang, siguro mabibilang ko lang or maaalala ko talaga lang yung mga patients who come in because kasi I came from from a heartbreak. Yung mga ganon, or tumaba ako
Yeah.
ng pandemic. There's a few of those, but mostly really, they come in because of image issues na. It's
Right.
affecting their mental health, basically.
And it's not only affecting grown up women, no. We
Even
do have some patients na in their early teens who are worried about their body shape,
Yes.
and that's also is a concern. Where is this worry coming from?
social
Why are
media.
women, and especially kids, in their prepubertal to early
Yeah.
teen years, worried about body shape?
Social
I
media.
think yes. I think yes, beauty standards reflect the mainstream media trends eh. So
Right.
Super,
the
super.
stuff that you see on, TikTok, YouTube, they slowly establish an ideal of what people should look like or
Yeah.
try to aspire to look like.
Mm-hmm.
Like like in our time, like Rachel from Friends in the
Oh
1990s.
Friends.
my gosh, yeah.
I'm dating
Napaghahalata
this.
tong generation natin.
Like everyone wanted her hairstyle, diba?
Oh yeah.
Yes, or Angelina Jolie. Everyone wants her lips,
Yeah.
because she was the ideal beauty nung early 2000s. And now,
It's getting
sadly, the skinny models that we see, the influencers that we see, um, they lead to unrealistic goals among teens. Because expectations are created based on whether we judge someone as beautiful or not, kasi yun, because of what we see
yeah.
on social media.
So
It's
how can we handle that? Yeah, yeah, Candy, sorry.
it's
Go
so
ahead.
hard. I think with our generation, I'd like to say I'm still nasa border ako ng millennials eh. So I'm like in the older part of the millennials. For the millennials, it's really about losing the weight. They like all of the, alam mo yun, mga very aesthetic. But for the younger ones, yung mga Gen Zers, um,
Mm.
they're more open to different body shapes. That's why ang daming influencers din na lumalabas ngayon na plus size. They call them plus size,
That's
but
good.
when you look at them, they're just, they're healthy but big bone, ganyan. And lumalabas na sila, dun parang nagkakaroon na ng shift then when it comes to their mindset that, yeah, my body shape is beautiful. So it's more
Yeah.
about function na optimizing what I have, mga ganon.
Yeah.
But for,
Yeah.
yeah, yung mga age na
Yes,
laki
the younger
millennial,
ones, they're more.
millennial. Yeah, yung mga age group ngayon ng mga mid-30s to like late 20s, yan yung mga gusto pa rin payat. Parang wala akong pakialam how I achieve it, but I just want to be payat. Mga ganyan,
Mm.
mga instant. So it's
Mm.
really, I think it depends on who we grew up with. Like Doc
Yeah.
Zaza, you mentioned Rachel from Friends kasi yun, lumaki tayo doon eh. So sila yung mga image natin nung 18 tayo, nung 15 to 18 tayo na yun yung pinapanood. Kasi diba Doc, before, yun yung mga lumalabas sa TV. Yung
Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
mga bigger, mga curvier girls naman ngayon, even mga quote-unquote dad bods, sumikat lang naman yan recently. Na,
Recently, yeah.
Yes.
diba?
I guess currently there is more room for diversity, no? But
And
Definitely.
we are
acceptance.
more accepting of diversity, which I think is a good thing. So, for
Yes.
those who are worried about body shape or body image, more or less we can see now that there is no correct or wrong body image or body shape.
Body
We
shape.
all
True.
have different types of body shape, and
Mhm.
then we can actually adjust our concept of ourselves. I think papasok dun yung idea of what are the things that we will have to accept about who we are. Because at a certain point, there's nothing wrong about moving towards an ideal. Eh.
Mm-hmm.
I think we all want to go towards an ideal. Oh, that's the ideal body shape for me, or that's the ideal face for me. or
Mm-hmm.
that's the ideal skin color for me. But at a certain point, we learn as we mature that we will have to accept that there are certain givens, no?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Genetics.
There are
That's why.
certain givens,
Yeah.
I remember that growing up because um to the people who don't know me, I am below average height, and it has always been an issue for me growing up. Ikaw din ba, Zaza? Yun. So, it was always an issue for me growing up na why am I not as tall as my classmates, ganyan. And it was my mom who, I think this is the important thing also to the moms out there. It was my
Yes.
mom who actually made me feel better about my height. And she was so funny because she was saying, "Oh, but you're good at other things." And she would say, "Da. These are the things you're good at." And if you were tall like everyone else, you would be boring,
Mm.
you
It
know.
really
And
depends.
Ayun.
you would
The
be boring. Yeah,
yes.
kasi sabi
How
niya,
we
"Oh,
view ourselves really starts at home nga, Doc.
yeah, so the comments of mothers or families, like ito, yung reunions, where
Reunion.
you get very conscious, naku, how do I look? I will see my relatives again. Yun. So the
Yes.
scripts
True.
we have in our heads are so important. There's a
True.
question from Chris Medina. It
Oh,
says, it is also a revenge for some na iniwan then nagpaganda ng katawan para sa nag-iwan. Is it a good motivation? Can you comment on that, ladies?
Ano siya, sometimes nakakuha ko ng ganyan, but I always tell them end of the day, kung ano man ang magmo-motivate sa'yo para maging healthy, push mo 'yan. Like, if it's vanity, if it's because iniwan ka, if it will lead you to a healthier lifestyle, why
yes.
not,
Or
'di
if
ba?
it will lead to a better you, why not?
Yeah, by all
Yes.
means, it's a fact of life, eh.
It might be the
So the
initial
better you.
motivation. Yeah, it might be
Yeah.
the initial motivation, but when the patient sees that, oh hey, I'm healthier, I'm prettier, I look better and I feel better.
Yeah,
It's not just gonna be the main motivation anymore.
yeah.
It's gonna be for herself na.
Oo. Along the way, parang the quick starter is that event. But eventually, because she started on that journey already, nai-internalize na nila yan na eventually, okay, it's because I just want to be beautiful for myself.
That's right. So that's one thing. No, I think there are two wise words na from both Candy and Zaza, no? Yung sinabi mo ngang ano man nagmo-motivate sa'yo, push mo yan. So it's like eventually just doing it for yourself
Mhm.
is
Yes.
very important. And
Yes.
then the second was yung what you said about Zaza, about beauty changing, but that eventually you do realize who you really are, which I
Yes.
think is a process of development for most of people, but it becomes doubly difficult for women. Now let's talk about the whitening and anti-aging, because these are now skin concerns. So tapos tayo sa
Mhm.
body. What about the skin concerns? How do you address skin concerns? Acne marks, scars?
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So most of the patients now, they come to me, they consult or request for, like, topical creams, products, facials, peels, lasers, because they see all of this. Like you said, Doc, it's all over EDSA, it's all over social media. First, I usually establish what their goals really are. If
Mm,
it's yeah, and then later on, I do realize they do realize also that after these improvements, there's a positive effect on their social health and well-being, and
mm,
it really reduces their, what do you call this ba, like appearance related distress. So I usually sit down with them and say, what are you willing to do? Non-invasive ba? Minimally invasive ba? Like that. And then of course, especially with the whitening thing, I had a I had a patient, a mom and her daughter. She was very young, and she came in and she did say that, Doc, my daughter's very dark. What can we do?
mm. Oh my
Them.
gosh.
because the mom, yeah, so I guess the mom also had some, some experiences from her own, past, that had something to do with her being a little bit darker. So I had to sit down with her and her daughter and say, "Oh, your daughter has very great skin. She actually
Mm,
doesn't need to do whitening. What is more important is that you aspire to have to have healthier skin, clearer skin, and everything will follow. It,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be whiter. It
Yeah.
just has to be healthier and, clearer." So that's what
And
I
and how did the mom respond to that? Was it an issue for the daughter?
No, not at all. Her daughter was like,
Ah,
so when I did tell her about how nice her skin was, she did give she smiled and probably realized it shouldn't be. I hope she did, that
Yeah.
it's not much of an issue having,
mm,
because that's one of my advocacies, Doc, yung acceptance of what our skin color is like. A lot of
yeah.
patients ask me, because I'm very morena, yan. It comes from my
Mm.
Ilocano genes. So a lot of patients ask me, "Doc, ba't ikaw hindi ka nagpapaputi?" So
Mm,
that I grabbed the chance to educate them about, yeah, yes. I grabbed the chance to educate them about how beauty is not dependent on how white you are, or
yeah.
how clear
True.
your skin is, but how healthy it is, and how, you know yes, I try to explain how, I hope they do get the gist, that it their confidence and their self-worth shouldn't come from just the appearance of their skin.
Mm. So,
Agree.
Candy, what about in your practice in life for lifestyle and integrative medicine? How do you address skin concerns?
A lot, because you in traditional Chinese medicine, when you have skin concerns, there's usually an imbalance. So, for example, if you have acne, that's too much
Mm,
heat in the body, and specifically your large intestines is clogged, you're not detoxifying well. In functional medicine, it's the same way. So you're not detoxifying through your detox organ, so it's coming out of your skin.
okay.
So we check lifestyle, like what are you eating? The things you're eating, are you actually pooping them out? Because
Yeah.
like we ask, like, are you constipated? Do you go every day? Because if you're not able
Mm,
to poop every day, there is a higher chance that you're reabsorbing some of the toxins, because there are a lot of blood vessels around the colon, and you're
mm,
also absorbing some of the estrogen that you're supposed to move out, because your estrogen is actually detoxify through the liver, and it goes na to the colon. Ipupoop
yeah.
out mo na siya dapat. So we
Mm,
check also if it's hormonal ba, the cause of the acne, and then we check na if they're constipated or not. More often than not, they are. Like at least, I'd say 70% of our patients who have acne issues have gastrointestinal bowel movement issues.
That's very enlightening.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
oh,
you
that's
ask
very important.
Oo, nagsasawa yung mga pasyente ko, every time they see me, I ask, "Kamusta, tumae ka na ba?" Mga ganyan.
Oo,
Every time
yeah.
you
Oh,
poop
that's very important kasi most
mhm.
people, especially the teenagers who have acne, go to the derma and then just want the acne removed. But
Yes,
acne definitely is a skin manifestation of something else that's
internal
happening
yeah,
internally. Hormones would be
yes,
one of them. And
hormones,
then now, of
detox.
course, Candy, you're saying toxins, which can
Yes,
yes,
come from
lifestyle.
food that's not taken out by
yes,
bowel movement. And
yes.
then, so
Inflammation also.
inflammation is one, yeah. So
Yes.
how can all of these things, kasi now that we're talking about, you see now, beauty and health, ito yung sinasabi natin kanina, how beauty and health are actually intertwined. So what would be our advice to the patients or the young girls who are so affected, their self-esteem and self-confidence by acne? What are the things that people can actually do at home to take care of themselves so that these things can be managed?
Number one, for me, check the things that you put in your mouth every day. We eat every day, we drink every day. We can't survive without food and water. So the things that you ingest really has to be clean. When we say clean, as less preservatives as possible, minimally processed, lessen your sugar intake because sugar can actually cause a lot of inflammation and hormonal issues in our body. So no, that's number one. The things that they do on a daily basis has to be flawless, kumbaga. Drink water as much as you can. May
Yes.
may computation pa yan by weight eh. But basically, just drink minimum of 8 glasses of water a day. If you can go up to 5 liters a day, wonderful. And
Yeah.
then make sure that when you eat, you get most of your, when you look at your plate, don't just look at the calories that are in your plate, because you also have to take into consideration the micronutrients that you're getting, because you actually
Mm.
need so much micronutrients for your body's basic functions to function, like all of our systems, like the detox system, the immune system. Like
Yeah.
tayo growing up, 'di ba, like bibigyan lang tayo ng vitamins pag may sakit, and
Yeah.
vitamin
Oo.
yun lang, vitamin C at zinc, yun lang. But we actually need so much more, especially for the skin. Meron skin vitamins. Those
Yes.
vitamins are
I
actually help us
agree.
lower down the inflammation and improve our detox system
Agree.
and our gastrointestinal system. So yun yung basics talaga. Make sure that you're eating the right type of food, you're drinking a lot, you're moving, because our lymphatic system is, kumbaga, if you're not moving, your lymphatic system is not moving. So, lymphatic system natin yung is a part of our detox system, that doon nakaipon lahat ng mga tinatanggal na mga toxins from the blood. And if we don't move, that's not gonna move out. So you have to
Yeah.
move. Parang kahit na walking lang 30 minutes a day, that's a big improvement na. So yun lang, basic stuff talaga, and sleep also, because we cannot
Yes.
recover without proper sleep. I'm sure Doc Zaza also tells
Yes.
this to the patients.
Agree.
Diba? Mga puyat
Yes.
lagi. Ayan. Ang
Correct. That's why on the cosmetic side I sit down really also with the patient and check the products that they use plus their lifestyle choices also. So
yes.
I do prescribe take home medicines that they can use to jumpstart their acne treatment. But at
Mhm.
the same time, it's true what Dr. Candy said. Lifestyle changes have to be put into place also.
Mm.
Definitely.
So can you imagine that? I think you did not notice it, Candy and Zaza, but we talked about two common problems that patients bring to you. That's weight loss and then skin problems, whitening, acne, scars. And for both, you have actually talked about what women can actually do to make themselves better. And the things are very basic, no? Just watching what you eat, less sugar, less preservatives,
Yes.
right? Less
Yes.
processed food. So
Yes.
that will mean less bacon, less cake, less pastries, less chocolate. Not just for the ano, just
Yeah,
to simplify
it's
it for
true.
those who are
The,
and
so
especially
studies, I
to
sige,
'di ba?
sorry.
Go
Yeah,
go ahead, go ahead.
studies have shown na doc that there's a relationship between your diet and acne breakouts. Eh. So it
Yeah.
is true about the diet
Yeah.
changes.
And I'm underscoring that because we do have corporate clients who will be watching this live stream later on, and showing it to their employees. It's also like part of mental health in the workplace is actually looking at your cafeterias and what food is made available to your employees while they're at work, especially 24/7 offices like BPOs,
Yes. Oh yeah.
hospitals, you
Yes.
know, and there's nothing to eat at 2 in the morning. They will end up
Window.
going to the fast food chains,
Window.
right, or to go to the vending machines. But part of mental health is taking care of the weight of the people who work with you as your employees, providing good source of safe water, kasi minsan walang water fountains or
Yes.
walang source
Yes.
of clean water,
I
right?
know. It's
True.
crazy. It's
True.
These are
basic.
very basic. These are very
Yes.
basic. And then for the mothers who are going to watch this or are watching, look at your grocery cart. or your basket, no, when you go to the grocery, and see how much of your of the things you shop are actually preserved meats, like hot dogs and canned or tinned
Luncheon
meat,
meat, corned
Mm-hmm.
luncheon
beef.
meat, yeah, corned
Mhm.
beef. Yeah, so these are things that can affect weight gain and can affect health of the skin and also the hair.
Yes.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
yan pa yung isa. And then one of the things you mentioned would be physical activity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so and very simple. The
Walking.
recommendation is like just walk 30 minutes a day. If you could put that into your daily schedule, that
Mhm.
would help. Or maybe go up and down the stairs if you're working in an
Break
office
time.
building.
Mhm.
You know, avoid the lift.
Yes.
Ganon.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
All right. The other thing about whitening and scarring and pigmentation on the skin is sun. No,
Oh, yeah.
that they have people are, if you notice, people are so afraid of going under the sun and all that.
No.
Is that something that you can address? Do you see that as a health and lifestyle and beauty issue? And
Ay,
what
yes,
do we
Doc.
tell the people?
Definitely. Because, especially those who come because of aging concerns, pigment concerns, probably more than 50% uh, of aging is caused by sun exposure. So accumulated sun
Mm.
exposure over time. So
Mm.
it's really important that you start sun protection early in life, as early as
How early is early?
Doc, as early as
Baby.
2 years old.
Huh?
Yeah, kasi there was this study that most of that the intense sun exposure in most people are in their childhood up to teens, because this is when they go out a lot on vacations with their parents.
Okay.
Parents take them.
Oo.
Yeah. So that accumulated sun exposure over time is also one of the culprits of premature aging, premature appearance of pigment. So yes, as early as early childhood, toddler pa lang, Doc, dapat nagsa-sunscreen na.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so when
Issue. Ako may
patients
issue
ask
ako
me,
sa
"Doc, when do I use sunblock?" Yeah, I said, "Every day for the rest of your life."
Candy, you were saying something?
Ako may issue ako with SPF because Doc, naman in holistic medicine, we're all about sun exposure, but we like the sun
Oh,
because
Mm.
that's how you are able to get your vitamin D levels in the body naturally. So
mhm.
sometimes
Mm.
kasi we have patients na don't like taking a lot of the capsules, like because
Mm.
if you don't get it from food and through natural activities, you take it orally. But like they always tell me, Doc, I'll go under the sun na lang. How much sun exposure do I need to get this dosage? But I always tell them, if you wear SPF, it's useless. Even if you go under the sun with SP, if you go under the sun, kahit magdalawang oras ka pa dyan, pero naka SPF ka, ang what you call this, ang hirap. Hindi mo siya
Mm.
makukuha. So what the most that I do, kasi ako, okay, personally ako nagpapaaraw ako because I would want to get dark naman. Yun ang concern ko, 'di ba? Gusto ko magpatan. So what I do sometimes, and I want to get my natural vitamin D. So what I do, may certain times of the day, for example, I wake
Yes.
up let's say at 6:30 or 7, good quote unquote, hindi pa masyadong tirik yung araw, good sun pa siya. So I go under the sun 30 minutes without SPF. Except for my face. My face will forever have SPF. But for the rest of my body, I expose it to sun for maximum siguro 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then SPF na the rest of the day.
Yes,
So,
the
What
time
time?
of
What time
day
in the
the time of
morning,
day really
Candy?
matters. The
6
time
to
of
10.
day really matters, Doc. Early
Yeah,
morning or late
Early
afternoon.
morning.
early
So
morning,
that's
6
Okay.
where
to
there are
8.
less harmful UV rays during those times.
Right.
Yes. So, yun
Okay.
yung
So
rule
that's
ko.
very important, ha? Kasi you can actually be walking 30 minutes
Mm-mm.
and getting sun exposure for your natural vitamin D. So you're already hitting two birds with one
One stone.
activity.
Yes.
'Di ba?
And then I tell my
So,
patients to exercise na under the sun. Walking ka na 30 minutes. E di yun na rin yun. Yun na yung
Oo.
satisfacer nila.
Tapos, make sure you have sufficient water. You can, 'di ba?
Yes,
Mm.
So you already get your water. And then, of course, because the movement also helps detoxify, it should help your bowel movement, which will then excrete naman the toxins from your body. So you see how health and beauty are really just one and the same if you really think
mhm,
about it. How
True.
you
true.
take care of your lifestyle, what you eat, how much you sleep, how much physical activity you do for yourself, all of these things contribute to actually making you healthier, improves your skin, manages your skin tone and pigmentation,
Mhm,
improves your muscles, and so therefore also helps with your weight loss and fat loss issue.
true.
So my gosh, 30 minutes of walking a day under the sun. Make sure lang you have a hat to cover your face because I
Right.
think si Zaza will
Yeah.
talk about the pigmentation on the face much more.
Yes.
But if
It's
you have
hard.
other parts of your body exposed with no
Yeah.
SPF 50, you can actually get the vitamin D that you need.
Yes, that's okay na. Basta ano to? Naka-sleeveless shorts,
Oo,
go.
you
Okay
expose
na.
it, di
Kung
ba?
sexy ka,
Okay.
mag-sports bra ka lang, go. Para pati tiyan exposed.
Right. So it's not as expensive or as difficult to actually be beautiful. And
Mhm.
it's not hard to actually maintain your skin and at the same time keep yourself healthy. So yung ano, yung when patients come to say they are not feeling very well and they want to optimize their health. That's a very important issue that we're also encountering. For the more enlightened ones, you people just don't go to the doctor because they're sick.
Yeah.
People go to the doctor because they're not feeling well. And
Yeah.
that can come in the form of sluggishness or lethargy or
Mhm.
troubled sleep or
Yeah.
just that your mind is on overdrive.
Mhm.
Do you see those types of patients in your practice as well?
A lot. A lot.
Yeah.
Parang
So,
nagpa-labs na at lahat. They went to different
mm,
doctors na, but let's say their labs are within normal range, ganyan, walang mabigay na anything. Parang what's going on? So we get a lot of those. There's no diagnosis, but when we check their symptoms, ang dami nilang nararamdaman. So we have this thing called the medical symptom questionnaire kasi it's like all of the that symptoms listed down, and then they rate it 0 to 4. So if it's a 4, it's like they feel it on a daily basis and it's severely affecting them. 0 if there's none. So if the
mm,
score is really high, let's say nasa 45 and above yung score, it means that they have high toxic levels in their body, toxicity in their
mm,
bodies. So we
mm.
sometimes yung mga to, even if mataas yung score, ang dami nararamdaman, there's no diagnosis. Their sugar seems okay. Their their liver and kidney function seems okay, but they feel something. So that's when we intervene na. Like we talk to them about the lifestyle. Para, okay,
Yeah.
kaya pala ganito yung feeling mo kasi ito yung kinakain mo. Ito yung times ng kain mo. You eat midnight instead dapat ganito. So, yun yung mga little things that when they actually are able to shift their lifestyle, the symptoms go away. This,
Oh,
eventually.
that is so hopeful.
Oo
'Di
naman, Dok.
ba? That
Yeah.
very hopeful for me to for if for example I'm the person and hearing you guys say that, I will feel very hopeful. And you
Mm,
know, in Mind Care Club kasi while we do deal with mental health issues, we're discussing all of these things because we want to sort of catch a bigger net ba that the ano to understand and to let people know that there are many things that are not exactly mental health issues which affect mental health.
mhm.
So
True.
don't wait until you're feeling depressed or you have very severe insomnia. When something is bothering you, you listen to that thing that bothers you. And what we're finding out is the
Mhm.
things that bother people are actually day to day stuff. You know, the traffic, the noise, the pollution,
Mhm.
not having enough to the financial problems to deal with getting good food and all that. These are very practical concerns that impact on mental health. So when you are feeling lethargic or you're not sleeping very well, it doesn't mean you have depression. Sometimes part of the thing that we're looking at also is understanding that you can do something with your lifestyle that can actually make you feel better,
Mm-hmm.
no? Katulad niyang ano, loss of confidence. Yeah.
Yes,
Totoo.
yes.
Totoo yan.
Oh, kaya ano, may mga nagte-text dito na gusto na raw nilang magpatingin sa inyong dalawa. So maybe we can we
Sure.
can I'm getting it from my text. So maybe we can type into the chat where we can find the clinics of Dr. Zaza and Dr. Candy, no? So but feel free to already ask your questions now kasi parang libreng online consult while we're while we're
Yes.
doing this, no? So it's very important siguro na we understand that self improvement is a very good motivation for people to come and consult us, but not everything that makes you feel down and out is a psychological kind of depression. There are certain things that you can actually do to help make you feel better. So let's
Mm-hmm.
go to the concept naman of stress management, because you did say that you see patients na uh, come to you because they're wanting to deal with stress. Ano
Yes.
yun?
Um, mga, okay, a lot of our patients nowadays, they feel overwhelmed with everything that's happening. Some are diagnosed with mood disorders, or they've been diagnosed ever since with, let's say, bipolar disorder, manic depressive, depression, general anxiety disorder, and they've been put on medications. But the medications over time, parang hindi na siya gumagana, or the triggers started popping up, especially nung nag-open up na when we were
Mm,
cooped up in the house for 1 to 2 years, parang chill lahat ng tao, or either you were so open to it, or you didn't like it, you were getting anxiety. And then when you got used to that, and then we started opening up, people started getting their triggers again, that parang sudden change na naman, so it's very overwhelming. So we when they see us, sometimes we parang kaming life coach na. Yeah, we talk to them how to how to cope, or at the very least what treatments they can do. Like acupuncture is very good to help manage anxiety and depression. Some kasi they don't wanna add medications, or they think they can deal with it without meds. Parang kami, wait lang, hindi mo kayang walang gamot, kaya ka nandito. So
mm,
we act na parang we sometimes, yeah, we do act as if we're life coaches na, to kind of direct them where they should go. Na kami nagsasabi,
mm,
"No, you cannot not take your meds. You have to go back to
mm,
your psychiatrist, or see someone, do some talk therapy, um, and not just see us. We'll complement it with your acupuncture, with your drips, with your colon cleanse, ganyan. But everything else has to be managed by another professional." So, parang
mm.
parang nagbabato kami ng mga pasyente sa iba-ibang practitioners din minsan kapag medyo
Yeah,
patient, parang we kind of slap them back to reality
yeah,
na this is a real condition.
yeah,
We can't do it with just giving you all of the herbs in the world, because sometimes may ganun na parang, "No doc, I don't want to take na may antipsychotics, I want the natural." Parang hindi ganun
yeah,
yun. We gotta work internally first, and then I will tell you, or we will have you assessed if we can start weaning you off on your medications.
yeah.
And then that's how we deal. Then now those people with stress, who are stressed, sometimes they just want someone to talk to, and they feel comfortable talking to someone that's not in their circle. So
Mm,
sometimes
Yeah.
it ends up either we refer them to psychologists, or to other therapists, or sometimes kami na nag-act as their sounding board when it comes
mm.
to their issues. And then we just mixing it, sige, mag-acupuncture na tayo para
Okay.
mas kalma yung chi mo, mas kalmado yung
Oh,
mind,
yeah,
ka better. Because of course, when you're stressed, your sleep gets really affected. Either you sleep too much, or you don't sleep enough. So,
Mm.
doon na kami papasok. We do acupuncture, so we do other treatments to help their body recover better.
Doc, I
Okay.
have a question for Doc Candy.
Oh
So,
yeah, go Zaza.
no, kasi I read somewhere about yung nga, yung mental health is also related to your diet. What advice do you give regarding, what you take in, what food could trigger or aggravate some of the symptoms? Is there anything that you recommend?
Yes, actually, we usually connect this to the neurotransmitters in the brain.
Mm.
Around 70 to 90% of your neurotransmitters, in your serotonin to be specific, is actually produced in the gut. So it's produced by a specific group of bacteria in your gut. So if you keep eating all the junk, ang fino-fuel mo na bacteria is the quote-unquote, magkakaroon ka ng imbalance. So may dadami na certain bacteria in your gut that will hinder the other bacteria to do their work, to produce the serotonin, to produce your dopamine, etc., etc. So doon ka nagkakaroon ng mood disorders down the
Mm.
line. And this usually starts when we're young. Because when we're young, we feel like our kids can eat anything and not develop any of the illnesses. So, bata pa lang, di ba, we get all the candy and the chocolates when we were when we were young, di ba? But the effects actually
Emotional eating.
emotional eating din. Emotional
Uh-uh.
Kasama
So the effects are everything comes out when we're older na, when we develop all of these hormonal and mental issues na, dun lumalabas. So when we say eating for your mental health is actually eating for your gut. So like what I mentioned earlier, remove all of the processed preservatives, high sugar, high sugary stuff on mga anything processed carbs. We try
Mhm.
to remove them, and then bombarding the body with all of the micronutrients and all of the fiber, the vegetables, the fruits that the gut needs to be able to proliferate the good microbiome again. And then eventually, initially, we co-manage with psychiatrists talaga. Kasi hindi kaya, parang feeling nila instant, or when the patient is really not functioning well, yung activities of daily living niya are really affected by the mood disorder. So we ask them to go back to their psychiatrist and take something to help just, manage the symptoms, manage the imbalances in the brain. And then over time, as they get better, as their lifestyles improve, they'll see the difference that even with minimal medication or no medication, they're okay. But we always tell
Mm.
them, once you reach that state na you need meds, konting trigger lang, babalik ka doon. So
Mm.
it's all about maintenance. It's all about
Yeah.
balance when it comes to eating health, having that healthier lifestyle. Because minsan nalulungkot naman sila, ay Dok, hindi daw pwede mag-chocolate. Hindi daw pwede mag-cake. Parang I always tell them, it's 80-20. Okay, kung may issue ka na, you're diagnosed with something, it's 90-10. We give you 90% of the time, you have to be healthy.
Eat
Talaga,
healthy.
you eat everything right. You have to sleep well, ganyan, no alcohol. But we still give you the 10% that you
Mm.
can enjoy. That you can enjoy. And
Anyway.
oo, 10% lang yun. So that's what, one meal out of the week. Parang ganon. So
Mm.
I always tell them, if you have an event on Saturday, edi dun mo na ilagay yung cheat day mo.
Mhm.
Yun na.
Mm.
So that they still, minsan kasi mental na siya na parang, hello, I can't have this, I can't have that. And it's affecting their mental health na. So we
Mm.
still explain to them na, you have to be strict initially because we want you to go back to having that piece of cake and not thinking about your gut anymore. So
Right.
that's how we kind of, that's basically the diet. So good
Mm.
90%. Parang ang hirap
Mm.
pag talaga na numbers. Pero yeah.
Oo. Tsaka ano, hindi siya it's not a fad diet. It's not a
Yeah.
diet that is high on something and then zero on another kind of nutrient. Diba? High protein and then zero carb. And
Carbs
I was
lang.
just reading about that this morning about how do you manage your carbs and your fat and your
Mhm.
protein, because in the past people thought if you had a low fat diet then that's healthy, but
Okay
now
na,
we're
yeah.
finding out that no, that fat's
Yeah.
actually important, no? And our cells are fats. Actually,
Mhm.
merong layer na, well, it might be too technical for the people who are listening, but what is important here is, as has pointed out by both Zaza and Candy, is the importance of eating right. And by eating right, it's really not depriving your body of something specific, but balancing things out. So, very specific yung low sugar na and processed food that you
Yes.
have mentioned earlier, no? But that there is naman some room for indulging on some of the bad stuff. And that's about 10% of the time that when
10 to
you're eating.
20%.
O sige, 10 to 20%. So you are not really deprived. Kasi sometimes I think that's why diet fails eh. Kasi
Yes,
you,
that's
when
true.
you go into a special diet, you do it for a while and then may
Wala.
revenge diet ka
Yes.
after, di ba? And then you regain everything or even more.
Yes.
So, one thing that you guys have stressed really is the element of choice. No, that you have a choice. You can actually,
Agree.
there are certain things that social media or advertising or even your own social circle or even your family can impose upon you as a matter of their own choice. But
Mhm.
as you grow up, there are many of these things you can actually choose for yourself. And that is very empowering for women to know that they have options and that they can choose.
Mm.
Is, I think, a very empowering thing to know. And
Yeah.
if that is one thing that you will take away from this session or this conversation, then that is wonderful. Tapos yung concept again of lifestyle change, and that health and beauty are intertwined concepts. But if you're not healthy, you won't feel beautiful.
Yes. Agree.
And if you don't feel beautiful, you also don't feel healthy.
True.
'Di ba?
True.
So ano siya eh,
They
it's not
go
one or the other. They really
go together.
interdigitate, like when you're holding your hands together, they really interdigitate. They come together. And so much can be done for very simple stuff. You don't even have to spend so much,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
no?
Agree.
Siguro ang last thing that you can probably talk about will be checking labels of not just food but also
Care.
cosmetics
Yes.
and supplements, no? People,
Yeah.
it's a very big business at this time.
Yes.
So, what would you tell the patients na pinag-usapan natin about weight loss, about scarring and acne, about feeling good about their bodies, especially after events like postpartum, no, after
Mm.
you've given birth? What are the things they check on uh, for nutrition and micronutrients or products?
For me, when it comes to supplements, I always tell my patients to check if there's like a GMP or good manufacturing practice dun sa mga bottles. If they buy retail, like outside, mga ganyan. Marami na
Mm.
kasing vitamin stores, di ba? Like in the States, ang dami may vitamin shop. Here we have healthy options, GNC. So check if it has good manufacturing practice. And then in the ingredients list, as much as possible, the shorter the list, the better. So if there are too much on the list na, the ingredients list na hindi mo na naiintindihan, um, next, throw it out. Kasi parang yung iba, ang dami-dami na palang hidden sugars, like all of the maltodextrin, the erythritol, the et cetera, et cetera. Those are all sugars. It's like just a different molecule.
Name.
So if there's too much of them, and then like for example, the active ingredient that you want is just let's say curcumin, and the
Mm.
curcumin is like down the list, or curcumin tapos ang dami-dami pang ibang nakasulat. Next ka na, iba na. So go as natural as possible. Even when it comes to food, same thing. If you look at the bottle or you look at the can and then there's so much stuff that you don't understand, parang bumili ka ng corned beef pero ang nakalagay lang beef tapos ang dami-dami kung ano-ano pa, next ka na. Um, when it comes to processed food or preserved foods, the pinaka gusto ko lang na preserved foods is yung mga, ano yun, sardines that are in olive oil. Yan,
Ah,
yung
yeah.
mga ganyan, okay lang sa akin. Pero yung
The
mga you don't,
bottled sardines.
yes. Pero yung mga iba na you don't even know saan galing part karne ba siya or I mean you don't recognize what the food looks like. I always, ito yung, lagi ko sinasabi sa patients ko, instead, for breakfast, instead of having luncheon meat, go for
Mm.
tapa or, alam mo yun, adobo. Because you know kung saan galing yung tapa. Mukha siyang, alam mo yun, mukha
Mm.
siyang karne. 'Di ba? As
Mm.
compared to all of those other processed things. So, as simple as that. And it's actually gonna be come out cheaper in the long run. Because you can
Yeah.
make your own tapa, you can mix your own, you can just go to the like if you have a good supplier that you know someone at taga-Katay, etc. You go to that route na. Go to the more fresh foods talaga. Issue lang yung
Okay.
Yes.
storage. Pero kung may access ka naman, yeah, you can go on a weekly basis. So
And
yun. So yun lang siya. Even for
Mas
skincare.
matipid pa yon.
Di ba,
'Di ba?
Doc?
Mas matipid
yes,
pa yon if you buy meat and then make it into your own tocino without the
Yes,
preservatives or your own tapa if that's what you want to eat. Mas
exactly.
matipid pa yon kaysa buying it with the preserved na nakapack
Instant.
and
Mhm.
frozen or
And more
in
nutritious.
cans.
Yeah,
More
the proteins
nutritious
are
as
actually
well.
more intact. The micronutrients are more intact.
You can
in
control the salt and sugar
Yep.
yeah.
kasi
And
ikaw
ako,
ang
I'm a low,
gumawa.
I'm ano when it comes to salt for me, I'm okay with salt. Basta hindi naman sobrang alat. Parang
Mm,
I
Okay.
don't, I'm not
that's
into the whole no salt or low salt thing. As you can have
Yeah.
low salt because it helps with your cells. You need
Right.
chloride. So, but not naman yung sobrang alat na
Oh, oh.
masakit na sa
Masakit sa jaw.
yeah.
Now, what about you, Zaza? In terms of mga cosmetics and
yes.
shampoo and ganon,
So
sunblock, what do you look for? What
in
will we
my
advise people?
in my case, I the patient history is very important. If they have a family history of allergies or personal history of allergies, and then I sit down and look at the products that they currently use, and then
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible, we just work around. Parang I'm like Dr. Candy. The simpler the regimen, the better. I'm a minimalist when it comes to a skincare regimen. If there's something that
Yeah.
can do everything all at once, it would be better for me. So
Mm.
I base my prescriptions on a thorough medical history of the patient. So each treatment regimen is individualized talaga, Doc. So
Okay.
I also ask them what they're willing, like what their schedule permits them to do. Some people have the time to do a lot of things, and then there are some people who don't have the time to do this much. So I also adjust. And then there are some who are willing to do procedures and certain um, enhancements. Well, there are some who just
Mm.
want a take home regimen.
Ah, okay.
Yes.
So it
So
really varies no, from patient to
yes,
patient. Now,
yes,
I
it
know we're going a little over time, but if you could indulge me, there is a question from Adri Amante. Like, what can you do when you feel stuck or overwhelmed in trying to make these changes? Oh, that's a very real concern. Uh, what would you suggest?
Take a break. Take a break.
Take a break. Okay.
Yeah, it won't go put you back to zero. Parang sometimes you feel overwhelmed because you're trying to put in too much or you're not taking it step by step. Like for me, I tell my patients, oh, let's address muna this because this is the one that you're most comfortable changing. And then eventually we'll move up to the other things in your
yeah,
lifestyle. So
one
if
step
you
at a
think,
time.
yes. For example, ako maarte ako, so skincare ko laging plakado. So, for example, may mga times talaga na nakauwi na ako but I'm so tired, I just don't wanna I don't wanna put on like all of the things that I need to put on my face. So, hilamos, tulog. Gano'n lang. As in, papagalitan ako ng derma ko pero alam mo yun, hindi talaga kaya Minsan 3 days ako dumadaan na walang skincare. But at least I get that break na parang I always put in my head na hindi naman 'to magba-back to zero. So you take your
Mm.
and then you
Yeah,
always have to go back to your why. Like, why are you doing this in the first place? There has to be a reason. There has to be a reason why you started, why you came to us for a consultation. You started feeling this and that. And that's our always our first question. Eh. Why are you here? What's your goal? So you always go back to your goals. Because if there's no goal, there's no reason for you to take the marathon. There's no, diba? There's no reason for you to start walking or jogging or doing anything in the first place. So you always
Mm,
have to ask that why. Why do you
yes.
want to do this? Why do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Um, or minsan ang ginagawa ko, a before photo. I think Doc
Yes.
Zaza would do this also, no,
I
for your
I do that
treatment.
all the time. I highlight the progress that they have
Yeah,
already made. And
yeah,
once they see it, parang, ay, oo nga, no, I have made a lot of progress. So
yeah.
then it motivates them again to continue. Sabi ko, pag talagang your tamad days na talagang hindi mo gusto maglagay ng kahit na ano, only one thing, sabi ko, sunscreen. Talagang sunscreen.
Basic. Maghilamos ka lang sunscreen, okay na yun.
Yun lang, basta mag-sunscreen ka.
That's so nice. Huh? I mean, this is a very nice exchange. There's one more question that just came up from Larna Tan, Nevado. Good afternoon. I am in my perimenopause age. What can we do for rashes on my face for a few days before my period that last for
Oh.
almost 10 days? O, ayan, ito yung pigmentation that comes with menopause. It's very hormonal.
There are many changes that happen during the perimenopausal uh, months, that time. And we do have to sit down first and examine what these changes have been. The practice of dermatology is very visual. So I'm going to have to eliminate all the possible causes of the rash before I could actually give you something to treat it. So come on by sa clinic and we can probably, take a look.
We will be posting after this live stream. We will be posting the details of clinics for both Doc Candy and Doc Zaza for those who are interested. The good work that they do. We're not advertising their practice, ha. But I'm just saying that the good work that these lady doctors do actually contributes to our Mind Care Club vision and mission, which is to help lessen sadness in the world. If you feel better about yourself by doing something about how you look and how you feel about your body and your overall health, and it lessens your anxiety about yourself, then that is in line with the Mind Care vision. So we are taking a very wide view of mental health in Mind Care Club. Not everything is depression, not everything is anxiety. It's understanding where is that feeling of low mood or anxiety coming from. And what we're seeing is for a good majority, about 70% of people will see are bothered by something else that they can do something about. And
Yes.
that's why we're doing these live conversations, because we want to let you know that you can do something about the things that bother you,
True.
especially the women. Okay. So I already took so much of your time, Zaza and Candy, and this is a clinic day. It's a Saturday. I'm sure it's a
Yeah.
clinic day. But maybe before we close, I would just like to maybe ask you to say a few words to those who have listened and those who will watch this podcast afterward. So maybe if you could give your last
Okay.
few words.
So, while medical aesthetics and cosmetic procedures can make you feel great about yourself, which can be a first step to genuine self-love and acceptance, do remember that beauty is just skin deep. It's not just skin deep, but looking and feeling great helps. So just like what Dr. Candy said, a healthy life, parang keeping or leading a healthy lifestyle is very important. Use sunscreen daily. That song. Start self-care early. And maybe a good regular skincare regimen that's attuned to your lifestyle is also important.
That's
See,
nice.
for me, on how to start on your like wellness or health journey is really to look at the things that you do on a daily basis and ask yourself, is this making me better? Is this making me healthier? Or is it leading me to not so beautiful outcomes? And then always check what's motivating you. I always ask my patients, if your motivation is vanity, we will go with that. If your
Mm.
motivation is your family, your children, will use that, because each person's motivation is very different. So if you come to me and you tell me, I want to look better because I want abs by 40. That's my goal, by the way. So we use we use that in our and when it comes to goal, because you cannot tell me that my goal is not valid, what
Yes.
my motivation is not valid, because that's my personal goal, and that's my advice for all of the ladies and everyone watching. You have to know your goals, you have to know your why, because you're gonna just have to gonna keep on coming back to that, and your everyday lifestyle will eventually will help you with your health goals, with everything, not just your health, but with everything in your life, or it can hinder you from reaching that. So you look at your life. Look at your life.
Oh, look at your life.
The
Well,
Nescafe commercial, 'di ba? The Nescafe commercial says, "Para saan ka gumigising?"
Gigising, di ba? Ang
mm,
ganda.
yeah. But that's so nice, no? Like, you understand what your goals are. What's your why? What keeps you going? And you do it for you. And I think that's a very good wrap up for our special podcast, Conversations with Doc Lou and Friends, for this afternoon to celebrate women. We help support each other and we take care of every woman in our life, being very careful because women are very sensitive to comments. So the mothers out there, you take care of your own daughters and you take care of yourselves. Mind Care Club is an online mental health facility, and we offer mental health services for those who wish to consult. And we have available psychologists, general practitioners with mental health training, and various levels of seniority among psychiatrists. So we still support that our vision and mission is to help lessen sadness in the world. So we leave you all women hopeful, celebrating who we are. Maraming salamat for joining us this afternoon. Thank you, Zaza, and thank you, Kendi. It was a wonderful conversation. Thank you very much.
Likewise,
Bye.
bye.